Endless forests are alive with untamed energy and wild movement. They're full of places that haven't been explored, places that draw you in with their mystery and reward you simply for being there. It's in places like this, while searching for something new, that real discoveries begin. That's how the idea of building a large, comfortable treehouse was born. From above, it would allow us to observe forest life from a completely different perspective and see the woods in a way that's impossible from the ground. Getting to the tree, however, didn't go smoothly. On the approach, the ATV suddenly jerked and came to an abrupt slowdown. A quick inspection revealed the issue almost immediately. The wheel of the trailer had torn off right at the weld. The trailer was designed to handle heavy loads, but over time, the welds had weakened. Years of stress had finally taken their toll, and they failed at the worst possible moment. After several attempts, I managed to break the damaged part loose. With no better option, I decided to drag the trailer the rest of the way. Slowly and carefully, I pulled all the tools and building materials forward. The forest road was narrow, heavily overgrown with grass, but thankfully fairly smooth, with very few bumps or ruts. The tree we chose had been standing here for more than 100 years. It was a massive pine, nearly a meter in diameter. In some places, the wood showed signs of rot, but overall, the tree was still strong and capable of carrying serious weight. It was an ideal candidate for a treehouse. The structure wouldn't be used only by us. Workers from the local hunting reserve would also use it for observation, and they had officially approved the construction. Before unloading anything, I began with preparation. I cleared a small area of fallen leaves and branches, laid down a pair of birch poles, and placed the future steps on top of them. The plan was to build a solid spiral staircase, one that would allow quick access to a height of 6 meters. For a structure this tall, a spiral staircase made the most sense. I started working on the front side of the trunk, removing large sections of bark with an axe. The bark came off quickly. Beneath the dried surface, there were visible areas of rot, but because of the tree's large diameter, they didn't raise any serious concerns. The rot extended no more than a few centimeters deep. On the opposite side of the trunk, the wood was solid and dry, and even the bark there was much harder to remove. Each step needed to be carefully shaped. The contact surface had to be shaved down so it would sit tightly against the trunk. An axe worked best for this, ensuring maximum contact between the step and the tree. Once the step was prepared, reinforced metal brackets with stiffening ribs were attached underneath. To align them perfectly with the edge of the board, I used a temporary brace as a guide. The brackets were secured with 14 screws, more than enough to support the weight of an adult carrying a heavy backpack. With a spiral staircase at this height, solid fastening isn't optional. It's essential. The step was leveled using a dry stump that would serve as a temporary support. Because of the height, installing a brace underneath wasn't possible. The brackets were then fixed directly to the tree using large lag screws. These heavy-duty fasteners create an extremely strong connection. Breaking it would be very difficult. With the first step finished, it was time to move on to the second. The spacing between steps was carefully measured. The chosen distance, about 20 centimeters, makes climbing comfortable and natural. Higher up the trunk, the wood became even denser and stronger. Because of this, carving out platforms for the upper steps took more time. For the next step, I attached a small temporary fastener at the top so I could hang the board in place. Once it was suspended, I no longer had to hold it by hand. I leveled it carefully and then installed the reinforced brackets. Next came the first support brace. A flattened contact area on the trunk ensured the tightest possible fit. The brace itself had to be prepared as well. Both ends were cut at a 45-degree angle. This angle distributes the load evenly and provides maximum strength. After test fitting the brace and checking the level, I marked the trunk where it would rest, made a cut, and removed the excess wood with an axe. I also trimmed the angle so the brace could rest securely against both the step and the trunk. The support board was attached to the step using standard non-hardened screws. Since the load would be carried in shear, this type of fastener was sufficient. The brace was then pulled tightly against the trunk, using longer screws, avoiding the need to weaken the board by cutting grooves. The final support block was made separately from a 50mm aspen beam. The last step in installing each step was removing the temporary brackets used at the beginning. Once everything was secured, I tested the steps by loading its entire surface. The results were reassuring. The staircase easily handled the impact of an adult jumping on it. The spiral staircase was proving to be solid. Every step was tested the same way. When you're working at height with tools or equipment, this kind of safety check is basic, but essential. It's the difference between finishing the job safely and getting seriously injured. As the staircase grew taller, the work became more complicated. Space became extremely limited. The step length was only 60 centimeters. There was also the constant fear of dropping tools. A single fall could destroy equipment and instantly end the day's work. Because of this, progress slowed. Over time, though, the anxiety faded. The small workspace became familiar, and the pace returned to normal. Knowing that I was getting closer to the required height gave me renewed energy. Eventually, the staircase reached a height of 2 meters. Based on rough calculations, a single run of the staircase would rise about 3 meters, meaning it would take more than 2 full rotations around the trunk to reach the target height. Nearby, a river flowed past the future treehouse. A trail camera had been set up there, and over the course of a month, it captured remarkable footage of forest life. The region had been suffering from a long drought, so the rain caught on camera was a long-awaited and life-saving event. Nature began to change almost immediately. The first visitors were ducks cautiously exploring the area. Later that night, a hare appeared, curious to see what had changed. After winter, a moose cow and her calf also passed through, leaving their tracks behind. Roe deer, graceful and elegant animals, moved through the area, symbols of balance and natural beauty. And at night, a powerful moose wandered along the riverbank, possibly with its family following soon after. The day was hot and sunny. Cooling off, preparing a meal, and simply resting felt necessary. Lighting a fire in such dry forest conditions is dangerous. It could easily cause a wildfire. For safety, I dug a small fire pit on a narrow peninsula, creating a protective barrier around the open flame. Lunch was prepared in this peaceful spot. A dry stump served as a makeshift stove, pre-cut with a chainsaw and a cross pattern. Thin slices of zucchini were prepared for the main dish. Bacon, slightly chilled in an improvised cooler, was taken out as the pan heated up. Before the main meal, I made a quick, filling snack. Just 2 ingredients: strips of bacon and pitted dates. Each date was gently pressed, wrapped in bacon, and fried until golden and slightly crispy. Once the fire reached a steady flame, 4 flat stones were placed to support the pan and allow airflow so the fire wouldn't die. The bacon-wrapped dates were fried for about 30 seconds on each side. Then set aside. Next came the main dish. 4 juicy, pre-marinated chicken breasts placed tightly in the pan. Chopped dill was added to enhance the flavor. After flipping the chicken, zucchini slices and chopped tomatoes were added, followed by a small cup of water. Everything was covered with a burdock leaf and left to simmer. The entire riverbank filled with the aroma of grilled chicken and light wood smoke. After about 25 minutes, the dish was ready. The chicken was tender, infused with vegetable juices and smoky flavor. It was the kind of meal that leaves no one indifferent. Once finished, the fire was carefully extinguished. The stump was fully submerged in water to ensure not even a trace of smoke remained. Respecting the forest is part of forest culture. There's no other way. With everything done, it was time to head back. Delivering lumber to the site was made easier using a log carrier. Beams up to 6 meters long fit easily, allowing them to be moved to the treehouse with minimal effort. For convenience, a large branch that interfered with climbing the staircase was cut off, carefully so it wouldn't fall onto the steps. All removed branches would later be reused as supports and railings. The first 4-meter beam was lifted and installed immediately. A groove was cut into the tree, 15 centimeters wide and 10 centimeters deep, to match the beam's size. It was secured using thick, long lag screws. The impact driver didn't have enough power to fully tighten them, so a manual wrench was used. Pre-drilling holes close to the lag screw diameter made installation easier. Once leveled, the beam was tightened completely and tested. It sat firmly, as if grown into the tree. For the second beam, a custom extended level was used. It rested on the first beam, and the edge of the second beam was marked directly onto the trunk to define the groove. With help from friends, the second beam was lifted and installed. Some steps were easier with 2 or even 3 people. Once secured, unnecessary branches around the platform were removed to clear space for future construction. The largest branch was pulled down using the ATV, slowly and safely, without damaging the structure. Floor joists were much lighter than the main beams, so they were lifted by hand. Reinforced brackets and lag screws were used for fastening. A temporary floor was laid using scrap boards, allowing easier movement during construction. The initial stage of building the treehouse was complete. There was still a lot of work ahead, but the scale of the project was already clear. Large windows, a spacious terrace, a stove inside, and room for several people. This place was becoming a truly comfortable forest home. This was my first video on the channel. I hope for your support and understanding. I promise each new project will be better than the last, and this treehouse will be something I pour all my strength and heart into. See you next time, friends. Take care.